So here we have Mr. Right Wing himself, Mr. Charlie Kirk, weighing in on a bit of the dating crisis going on in America. He gives his advice on what he thinks you should look for prior to getting married. Now, he, of course, is the conservative Christian fellow, so opinions may vary, but perhaps he has some wonderful advice for everyone. Maybe not.
So in dating, look, I do not think you should have sex before marriage. I know that's a provocative
All right, I'm leaving. I'm already leaving. I know. Oh, hold on.
take. I think sex is holy. And by the way, it's not just a religious take. I actually think that if you introduce sex into dating, then all of a sudden there's kind of like a dilution of what exactly will be the ultimate physical crescendo of marriage. So you can actually make a rational, reasonable, non-religious argument for that. Anyway, that's like a whole other topic that we could discuss another time. But
Now, I think why he says that initially is because he does have the religious take on it, but he's trying to brainstorm on how can we get people who aren't religious to follow this as well. It's the crescendo of physical. Nobody cares to wait for that, do they? The crescendo, you gotta wait till the government says you are now married. I'm throwing it out, Kirk. I'm throwing it out so far.
But I will defend that. I actually think bring back purity, bring back saving yourself for marriage. Okay, but other things is this. You should go on a road trip with the person you're dating. It's very important. So you should find uncomfortable, high pressure travel situations. That's not just like flying first class to Aruba.
Did anybody even enjoy going on road trips as a kid? If you go with your parents, you go out somewhere and there's just all that bickering and arguing going on there. So I actually think this is pretty sound advice. If you're not paying for it. If you're not paying for it, maybe. Otherwise, she's getting a free trip out of it. You're trying to test her by seeing how much money she'll take. And act pleasant? I like it, though. I like it. I would personally leave it in the list. Give a road trip. Take a road trip. See what kind of beast she turns into. When the snacks run out of the car and there's no gas station around.
And you should try to be in places of discomfort intentionally with who you are dating, and you'll find out a lot with that person. Number 3, this is going to sound incredibly sexist. I don't care. If it is a woman that you want to get married to, and she says that she wants to be a traditional wife, see if she's actually up to it. Say, okay, treat me, cook me a meal. I'm not kidding.
No, I think that's like
mess. No. But honestly, like she says she wants to be a traditional wife. Like, and by the way, be like, does she enjoy it?
That seems kind of a low bar, doesn't it? That seems. Cook me a meal. I mean, you could fake that. You could fake that for a while. Like, these are litmus tests of a very small degree so far. Very small. They will cook you something. I suppose if they bark and, oh, what do you want me to do? Cook for you? I'll cook your face on this pan instead. Then you have your answer. But just because they do these things so far doesn't mean they are quality. But I'll move it through. They are not bad tests to conduct.
No, this is important though. Like, and then ask her. No, I'm not even just, is she a good cook? Be like, did you enjoy doing that? And she like, oh, I loved it. I loved getting the ingredients. I loved looking at the cookbook. I love the recipe. I love thinking about you when I was cooking the food. You're like, okay, this is going to be awesome. Right? Or otherwise she's like, it was a disaster. It was this. I'm like, okay, well then we might have a little bit, and by the way, I'm not saying that every wife has to cook every meal for her husband, but honestly, a lot of women out there want to do that. A lot of women want to provide for their man in that way. They want to run the house. They want to shepherd the kids. Going into marriage, though, I'm a big believer.
So I think what that point more comes down to is, does she enjoy serving you? Not does she enjoy cooking per se, but does she enjoy actually serving you, putting her time and efforts towards you? Not, oh, do I like a cooking class? No.
In premarital counseling, I think that there are several questions that are not answered when most people go into marriage that should be answered. And I might freak you out with this because I don't know if you did this.
We did this.
Yeah, okay, great.
I looked at every divorce statistic and we did everything we could
to lessen the chances of a divorce.
So yeah, money is number one, right? Who's going to handle the finances? Here's one that you might not have done that you should do while you're still in the honeymoon phase. Are you going to have an open or closed house?
He skips right over money. He's like, money's the most important one. Let me just skip past that and tell you about open whatever nonsense he's going to spew about next. But money, the root of all evil, they say. and of most divorces, perhaps. Anyway, it's very true. Money should be looked into quite heavily, and there should be an agreement on it. And if there's any barking at it, if there's any whining, any crying about it, that includes me, then no. It's a no. It's pure and simple. Should be, basically, number one. Number one, get the gold diggers out of there. Get them out.
I don't even know what that means.
See, it's big. So were you raised in a house where a lot of friends came over all the time? Or were you raised in a house where almost no friends came over?
A normal amount. It wasn't.
Yet, open or closed. It was, maybe like once a week. We'd have like a play date or something like that.
Do you know what kind of house your wife was raised in?
Probably about the same.
Okay, it's an important question because I was raised in a very closed house, right? I know people that are raised in open houses and it's destroyed their marriages. You know the type where they're always having people over? Yeah.
That was my family, yeah.
Okay, so you get that.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were to marry a closed house person and all of a sudden you were like, hey, we're going to constantly have a stream of people and you don't talk about that before marriage. All of a sudden you're like, it's total chaos for a closed house person because they're raised in a place where evenings are very quiet. Make sure.
I think this is a valid point, but it's also one that you would know just by their environment, their behavior, the personality without asking, well, you raised this or that. It's like, well, do they sit in all day? Do they go out? Do they have a bunch of friends who like to hang out with and come over to the house? This, I think, is more of an observational sort of thing, because you can be raised in a closed household and then develop into more of an open one, and vice versa. So I would say, yes, it is a good point. A lot of times the spouse, the introverted one, will be scurrying off whenever they hear the doorbell. Oh, scurry off to the closet with the phone or a little Game Boy, whatever it is. Back there hiding out until they hear the door shut a few hours later. Like, God, they're gone. I can peek out the door. Anybody here? Oh, somebody's... So that is a valid point here. That is a valid point.
This is another important. Make sure that you get along with each other, that you really like each other, not just love each other, that you like spending time with that person. One of my favorite words.
This is absolute lunacy. Who cares if you like your wife, am I right? It's nonsense.
In English language is like. It's very unique. Only the English language actually has that. Do you like spending time or do you just love that person? That's because liking is like, hey, can you talk to that person 7 hours uninterrupted on a park bench if you needed to? Or is it just kind of like an annoyance and is it just purely physical? Other questions and other pieces of advice that I think are really important. In-laws matter. They really do. They shouldn't always necessarily be deal breakers, but boy, you should know the in-laws because your wife will take the form of the mother more times than not. So you should at least get along with your in-law.
Physically as well, mind you. Not just in personality. I do like this. I heard this advice many, many years ago, and it is, I would say, one of the most important ones on there. You need to say, this may be a little, it's not perverted, I'm not being creepy here, but I do want to look at your mother when she was perhaps younger, maybe around your age, a little older. Can I see a progression over time of what she turned out like? And is she a battle axe herself? You got to get to the family gossip, get the dirt brought up, because if the mother's crazy, there's a good chance the daughter, will be crazy. And even if the mother's not crazy, there's still a damn good chance the daughter's crazy.
Kind of know the in-law. Children. How many children? When are you going to have children? Is it a priority? Will it be early? Will it be late? Religious questions. Are we going to raise them religiously? Are we going to raise them secular? Other questions that I think are really important.
On the topic of children, you might think that is a conversation they should have an agreement on, but I think you will discover a lot of times that women often, because they can choose to take the birth control, they can be more cautious about it than the man in a lot of ways. So they actually get the final say, and they can be a little manipulative in that sort of thing, a little underhanded. So I think men need to prioritize more of their autonomy than just relying on women and their word with it. Especially if you were just dating the girl and all that. I'm going to take it back. No matter what, no matter when. Men, you must always assume that the girl is out there plotting for that baby bait trap. And just operate with that mindset so you will take every precaution not to fall into that trap. You don't want to be stuck saddled with that nonsense. All because of what? Somebody tricked you? I mean, come on now. I mean, it's only happened to me at least half a dozen times, but I'm now passing that information on to you here. Shut up over there, Sammy. Daddy's filming.
Important that actually don't always get flushed out. How many vacations are we going to take? What type of vacations? Are we an RV family? Are we a go to a private, island family? Are we going to splurge on one vacation a year? Or are we going to do like 3 or 4? This is important before you get married. All of a sudden you're kind of in the marriage thing and you're like, hey, I just booked us a vacation. Like, what? I didn't want to go. That's not because it's different.
This, I don't think, is all that important because people change over time. One moment you don't want to go on a lot of trips. Another time you get some money. Oh, I saw this video, a new life goal came up, and now you're flying all over the place. So to say at the very beginning, 5, 10, 15 years later, they're not allowed to change their opinion. You told me you didn't want to go on an RV. Now you're looking at RVs, used RVs to buy. I mean, come on. People moving to grow. So this, I'm not giving much credit to it, Charlie Kirk. I'm not giving much credit at all.
Philosophies of time off. Last one, which is the biggest. You want the biggest of all. What are acceptable and unacceptable vices for our marriage? For example, is it acceptable for the husband to smoke a cigar? Has she smelled cigar before you get married? And does she know what that is?
Now, personally, I think all these vices should just be the man making this list and saying, this is what we will accept here, and this is what you must accept over here, woman. And then he just hands that to the woman, and she can accept it or not. I think that should be the end of it.
Will marijuana be allowed in the marriage? I would say no, of course. Is it okay for alcohol to be around? If yes, how often? Will you drink on weeknights? Are more than one drink acceptable? Will we drink socially? Will you drink once you have kids? Will you drink around the kids? Here's another question. Will you watch TV at night? Will you be okay if, there's R-rated kind of sexual nudity that your partner is watching? Is completely off limits for your relationship? I think it absolutely should be. You should talk about that because some couples are like perfectly okay.
This guy can't watch R-rated movies at his house. I mean, come on, John Wick, anybody?
Hey, with what I think is kind of weird, to be honest, right? These are questions that honestly, all the time that people do not always flesh out before marriage. In the course of dating, though, I could go on for like infinite.
No, I really enjoy this.
Yeah. Again, we have an amazing marriage. My wife and I, obviously it's not perfect. No marriage is perfect, but we actually like each other. We prioritize date night. We're actually doing it right after this tonight, which is awesome. But I find so often that people in dating don't date with the intent to marry. And when they end up wanting to marry, they don't even ask the tough questions before they get married.
I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that last year, we actually had none other than Jordan Peterson changed my life with his lecture.
Online university. Peter's even better because Peterson Academy.
Before marriage.
Yeah.
Again, we have an amazing marriage.
So those are his points. Valid, some, sure. Fine test. Good to hear there. Look into it. Not the be-all, end-all, and some of them, they come down to your own personal values on the matter. Do you agree with it? Do you not? You have to have your own system. You can't rely on only one other person's idea of what should be required in there. Because you have your own ideas and what you need to look for. So more importantly, go look at these lists. That's fine. Go look at them. Explore them. Take down ones that resonate with you, which ones you want to keep. And then you have your own personal checklist you can go through. And I will leave you with one of the most important ones you can have, in my opinion, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't be saying it. Let's say the woman does something, she gets caught, or does something wrong, or maybe she shouldn't have done that, and she knows it. And you catch her doing it. Then you say, hey, did you just... And if she shows any sort of defensive, any sort of blame shifting, any sort of turning it to pity herself, if she is now emotionally tying it back to herself as if she was the one wronged, any type of manipulative behavior like that, I would say is an immediate shutdown. Don't even entertain it. That is going to save you, it'll be the cause of so many headaches, but if you would heed this advice, it'll save you years of torment. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.